What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey, and today we're going to talk about this NFL Sunday afternoon matchup between the Arizona Cardinals and the Washington Commanders. All right, so this game is set to be played on September 29th at 4:05 p.m. East Coast time. It will kick off in Glendale, Arizona. The line is Arizona by 3.5. Over under is set at 49. The line has had half a point movement as far as the line is concerned, because it was at Arizona -3 and the over-under was at 46. But like I said, it's gone up to 49 cents. So let's go ahead and let's talk about these two teams and how they match up out here on the field, right? So the Washington Commanders opened up the 2024 season with a tricky matchup versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Washington ended up falling in that one 37-20. Then in game 2 against the Giants was the Commanders' first win of the year, as they eked out a 21-18 home victory. But in Monday's matchup versus the Bengals, the Commanders scored in every quarter and gave up points in every quarter. During a wild 38-33 victory, Jaden Daniels threw 254 yards and 2 scores on a nice 21-23 stat line, man. It's an amazing stat line for a first-year quarterback. And then, while also notching a rushing touchdown. Terry McLaurin caught 4 passes for 100 yards and a touchdown in that game. Okay, so they're coming in off of 2 big wins. And then when you look at the Arizona Cardinals side, they faced off against the Buffalo Bills in their first game. Arizona took a fairly close loss in that one, dropping it 34-28. The Cardinals also got their first win in week 2 again by taking out the LA Rams in 41-10 in a blowout fashion, guys. So Arizona then saw Detroit Lions in week 3, and in that one, Cardinals faced a 10-point deficit by the break and couldn't muster more than a field goal from there, and a 20-13 defeat. Now, Kyler Murray did finish with 207 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, while also leading the rush with 5 carries for 45 yards in that game, guys. When you're talking about these two teams, you're looking at the injury report first. You would have to call out these names, because they are the only key injuries that you're looking at. And when you're looking at Washington, it would have to be the fact that Emmanuel Forbes is questionable still. All right, he's battling a thumb injury and is uncertain if he will take the field on Sunday against the Cardinals. We also know Clelin Ferrell is going to be out. He's dealing with that knee injury and not anticipated to play. Austin Eckler still dealing with that concussion, and he's anticipated not to play as well. Okay, and then when you talk about Arizona, so Arizona's got Tonga. He's still out dealing with that knee injury. He's going to miss the game. Isaiah Adams is questionable, managing a thumb injury, and it's up in the air if he'll be able to take the field in this game. Of course, you know Darius Robinson. He is questionable, dealing with that calf injury. And Kelvin Beachum, he is also nursing a hamstring injury and is questionable in the game. Zay Jones is suspended and he'll be out for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. So he's expected to miss 5 to 6 games due to that. Also, Tip Ryman, the tight end, is questionable, dealing with undisclosed injury, and it's unclear whether or not he will be out there for this game as well. So looking at this matchup and how these two teams have fared thus far this season, Washington is averaging 26.3 points per game. That's 5th best in the NFL, whereas Arizona is giving up 21.3. That's 19th worst in the NFL as far as to opposing teams. When you look yards per play, Washington's getting 5.9 yards per play. That's 8th best in the NFL. And Arizona's giving up 5.4. That's 19th to opposing offenses in the NFL. Third down conversion, Washington's converting 45.16% of their third downs. That's the 6th best in the NFL. And Arizona's allowing teams to convert 34.38% of the time. That's middle of the pack, you guys. That's 16th in the NFL as far as to opposing teams on third down. Then when you look in the red zone, Washington, they score a touchdown 50% of the time. That's middle of the pack, 15th in the NFL. But the problem is Arizona allows teams to score touchdowns when they reach the red zone 63.64% of the time, guys. That does not bode well for this Arizona defense. And then when you look in the inverse, Arizona scores 27.3 points per game. That's the fourth best offense in the NFL. But then Washington's defense is the 30th worst in the NFL, giving up 29.3 points per game, guys. Then you look yards per play. They give up 6.6 yards per play. That's the 31st worst in the NFL. And Arizona's out there putting up 5.9. That's the ninth best. So expect some offensive explosions in this game. Third down conversions. And third down, Arizona's the fourth best in the NFL, converting 45.45% of their third downs. And Washington, they are the worst team in the NFL on third down. They allow teams to convert 61.29% of the time, man. Then in the red zone, Arizona scores a touchdown 66.67% of the time. That's eighth in the NFL. And guess what? Washington, they allow you to score 66.67% of the time. That's the 26th worst in the NFL, that they allow touchdowns in the red zone, man. So how is Arizona matriculating the ball down the field? Well, it's mainly done through the run, okay, because they run the ball 47.43% of the time versus them actually passing it 52.57% of the time. So yes, they pass a little bit heavier, but it just seems to me like that yards per rush being fifth best in the NFL at 5.2, going against the 30th worst rush defense in the NFL, which gives up 5.1 yards per rush. All right. I think that's a problem. I think Arizona has an edge there. I also see the edge with Arizona's ninth best rushing attack. They average 144 yards a game on the ground, rushing the ball 27.7 times. Now, their run average is ninth best in the NFL, and they're going against the Washington defense that allows you to run 121.7 yards a game. That's 18th worst in the NFL. And then when you look at Washington, they also have an advantage in the same place. Because when it comes to not yards per rush, because there's an advantage there for Arizona, but when it comes to yards per game, Washington gets 153.7 yards per game. That's the fifth best in the NFL, whereas Arizona gives up 123.3. That's the 20th worst in the NFL, man. So there's another opportunity for Washington to control the ball a little bit, and for there to be points put up on each side. Like, you got to understand that Arizona allows opposing quarterbacks to complete 75.34% of their completions, man. And when you got a Jaden Daniels who's completing 80.26%, which is the best in the NFL, going against the worst pass defense against completion and the worst opponent's yards per pass in the NFL, all right, because they give up 8.2 yards per pass. That's the 31st worst in the NFL, man. And that matches Washington because they average 8.1 yards per pass. That's the fifth best in the NFL, guys. This bodes very, very, very bad for Arizona's defense, man, because they can't stop the pass and they can't stop the run. All right, but then when you look at Washington, they can't either. They give up 8 yards per pass. That's the 29th worst defense in the NFL, and Arizona's got the 7th best pass in the NFL, getting 7 yards per pass. All right, Washington also allows opposing quarterbacks, for what it's worth, to complete 71.88% of their passes, and right now Arizona's completing 68.6%. So there is definitely an opportunity there for a lot of yards, a lot of points going both ways, man. I don't think either defense is really gonna hold water in this one, so it could be a high-scoring game. Hence why the line has moved up on that over/under. So, looking at the stat splits, okay, we already know what they did the last 3 games. There's only 3 games been played. But when you look at in situation, Washington on the road is averaging 29 points per game while giving up 35 points per game. And Arizona at home is scoring 27 points per game and giving up 15 points per game, guys. So it's definitely some opportunity there to just get some understanding about how these two teams have been playing. And then when you look at situationally and how they've been going about it, so straight up, Washington is 2-1 on the season. Arizona's 1-2. As an away team, Washington is 1-1, and as a home team, Arizona's 1-1. So it's about the same. Now, when Arizona is a favorite, they haven't even been a favorite this year. Okay, have not been a favorite yet this season. Okay, and when you look at against the spread, so Washington is 2-1 against the spread, and Arizona's 2-1 against the spread. As a home team, Washington against the spread. As an away team, Washington against the spread is 1-1, and Arizona matches them at that 1-1. So let's look over under. As a home team, it's 1-1 for Arizona, and as Washington, it's 2-0 as an away team. Because guess what? They can't stop anybody, and neither can Arizona. So definite opportunity for the over the 49. Right now, if you got it in at the 46, oh, you're great right now. You should be feeling great if you got it in at the 46, guys. All right, so to look at these teams in the last 10 times they've been out on the field. Washington's 2-8 in their last 10, 3-7 against the spread, 7-3, so 7 to the over and 3 to the under, and the over-unders in the last 10 times they've been on the field, guys. They got Cleveland up next, then followed by Baltimore, at Baltimore, then they come back home for Carolina. All right. Now, when you're looking at Arizona is 3-7 in their last 10, 6-4 against the spread, and 6 to the over, 4 to the under in their last 10. Next up, they got San Francisco, at Green Bay, and then the Chargers. So they definitely got some hard games coming up as well. These two teams have not played since last season. They played on September 10th last season, and Washington won 20-16. Arizona was giving up 7, and basically Washington won and covered. When you look at the series about when they have played each other, so usually it looks like the home team, at least in the last 2 games, the home team has won going back to 2020. But I look towards that 2023. Even though there's been significant change on the Washington Commanders since then, there hasn't been a significant change with Arizona. A lot of those players are still there. They got rid of some of them, but not a lot of them. And so I believe that Washington definitely has a good chance in this game, guys. All right, so looking at the trends, basically, and understanding how these two teams play, Washington Commanders have covered the third quarter spread in 12 of their last 17 games, man. It's 34% return on investment, whereas Arizona Cardinals have hit the second half money line in 6 of their last 8 games. This 89% return on investment, guys. Now, when you're looking over at Washington Commanders, they've hit the second quarter game total over in 12 of their last 17 games, and Arizona has hit the second quarter game total over in 11 of 17 games, man. Seeing a trend there, guys. You know, that over might look good. Okay, like I was telling you could get a trifecta on the over, or you can even go team total overs if you want to. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different game total overs for these teams. Like, there's so many different ways to attack this and still come out good. Washington Commanders have hit the first half game total over in 13 of their last 20 games. All right, and the Cardinals have scored last in 4 of their last 5 games at home. The Arizona Cardinals have also covered the second half spread in 6 of their last 8 games, guys. And the Washington Commanders have hit the first quarter game total over in 13 of their last 20 games. All right, so basically, to understand this game, this is what you got to know. Okay, each of the Cardinals' last 7 games at State Farm Stadium following a loss have gone over the total points line, and each of the Commanders' last 6 road games in September have gone over the total points line. Also, 9 of the last 11 Sunday games at State Farm Stadium have gone over the total points line. All right, so definitely loving the over, like I just told you. Okay, you might want to check out James Conner, having scored at least 1 touchdown in 8 of the last 9 appearances following a home loss. Okay, I think that you might want to look that way. Marvin Harrison ranks tied for first in the NFL in receiving touchdowns with 3. You could look there. Zach Ertz has recorded 21 plus receiving yards in each of the last 12. Each of his last 12 September appearances with his team as a road underdog. Okay, and Brian Robinson has scored at least 1 touchdown in each of the last 7 Sunday road appearances. Jaden Daniels also has the highest completion percentage in a single game history with 10 attempt minimum this season with 91.3, guys. All right, so right now I'm going to lean towards the Commanders with the points. I don't think that Arizona will be able to stop them enough times to be able to cover any kind of spread. So I'm going to lean towards the Commanders with the points. Probably not touching it, but I might, you know what I mean? I might. I'm not even gonna play with y'all. I might end up playing that. But most likely will. I'm definitely playing the over in this game, though. Arizona's defense is awful, and they were awful last week. versus the Lions. They gave up 50% on third downs. And offensively, the Cardinals were pretty ugly as well, with only 277 total yards, 200 passing yards, man. With a time possession of 23 minutes and 11 seconds. Just 1 of 11 combined conversions on third and fourth down. So Washington should be able to keep a cover pace, if not win the game, guys. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Please have a blessed day. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to see y'all at the window. Peace.